Gone are the days when we required acres of land for farming. Growing simple vegetables can be an easy task if you have the right training from experienced urban farmers. Today we meet Sarah Itambo, who earns a living from her smart farm produce in Nairobi's Donholm Estate and trains farmers from all over the world. Kenyan urban poverty is estimated at 50%, and it is feared that the situation will deteriorate in the future. Urban farming is an important economic activity both for poor and commercial urban farmers. Urban farming is considered an important food security strategy for poor urban farming families. Urban farmers can do it for commercial purposes, creating a significant contribution to employment and income generation, or could also do it for subsistence. Sarah Itambo tells us what inspired her to start urban farming and why you do not require acres of land to farm. Why urban farming?
Farming has always been a passion for me. So from when I was a little kid, I was very interested in farming. Now that's a little bit strange because I'm born and raised in the city. But then again, looking at the spaces that I have, the available space was in the urban centers. So it was kind of the only thing that I could do in the space that I have. Yes.
So when did you start, and what inspired you to? I know you said you liked farming when you were younger, but what really inspired you to now actualize it?
Yes. Okay, when I was young, when we moved here, there was a lot of space around us before other people bought plots. So my mom used to do a lot of farming. So she taught all of us to do farming as kids, And there is where I got my fascination. I got such a great fascination because for us, she made it a very fun thing. You had sizable tools to work with, and she showed you exactly how to weed, to do some of these things. So it was very interactive and it was very fun for us. And then it was a little bit competitive because you'd get my sister and me having two different small plots, and I grow my carrots there, she grows her dahlias there. And just that, to see that you put in a very small seed, and at the end of the day, it's blossomed to be such a big thing. To me, it just blew my mind. And I guess that's where I got my passion. But starting commercially, I started after high school, after college. That was right now it's around 7 years since we started. That's when we started commercially. So what we did is that we went for trainings and all that. But the passion started way earlier when I was just a small, just a small girl.
So 7 years ago, what did you start with?
What we did, we sat down and we did a very good plan, a business plan, me and my mom. Because I wanted to implement my project here at home, I had to ask for permission. And it had to be something very thought out. So we sat down, we mapped out how we were going to do it. I did a very good design of the house before we started. We went for training. We planned out some training to different successful farms. So we went for training and we learned all there was to learn about poultry and rabbit keeping before we started.
So that's what you did: poultry, rabbit keeping. And now you have a greenhouse.
Yes, I have a greenhouse and an aquaponics system. Yes.
So in your greenhouse, you grow pumpkins?
For now, I'm growing pumpkins, but before the pumpkins started, which was around 4 months ago, I had indigenous greens, terere, mrenda, the likes.
Yes, I was going to ask you why pumpkins and not the usual skuma wiki, such.
We try to maximize on indigenous greens and not so much of kales, skumas, but things like spinach, terere, such. Saga, izo. We do those ones, yes.
Okay. Is your greenhouse for commercial purposes or is it just for subsistence?
When we were doing the indigenous greens, we were doing it a little bit commercial and subsistence. But for now, with the pumpkins, We've also been able to sell quite a number of it. We had an order we were taking to a hotel in Donholm. But the remaining now is now for subsistence because we're just at the end of the season. Yeah.
So to have a greenhouse in your compound, is it in your compound?
No, it's outside our compound. It's just right outside the perimeter wall of our estate. So it's on public land. We were given permission to set up a makeshift one, so it can't be permanent or more sturdy. It has to be just a little bit semi-permanent, semi-temporary.
Okay. Speaking of permanent, as
Yes,
you say,
permanent, yes.
is it? Do I need to really go deep in constructing the greenhouse, or what are the simple ways of just building an easy greenhouse to just maintain, or for subsistence, as you said?
Yes. Okay, so for us, what we did, because we're doing it on public land, and you can basically have to demolish it anytime. We had to put in very locally available materials and also affordable and cheap materials that could get around us. So what we did is that, first of all, we bought second-hand greenhouse paper, and then we had just basic poles, very cheap, that we set up with. Yes.
Farming requires plenty of water.
Yes.
Where do you get your water from, considering this is the city?
Yeah. So basically, if you're in the city, you have to look at the availability of water as one of the inputs that you need, and it's a major input. So for us, since we have an aquaponics system, which is a system that holds fish and plants together, it's a recirculation system. So the water gets to go round, the same system for a number of weeks. When we are done with it, that's when we now store it into water harvesters that we use to irrigate with. So we always have a lot of water just waiting to be used.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you'll never lack water?
No.
Is that a method that everyone can adapt, someone in the city?
Yes, you can adapt the method. There's a trick that goes with it. Like for us, since it's not allowed to put a pump before you put a tank, what we do is we have our tank very low. It's actually below the surface here. And water just goes in, whether it's on high pressure or low pressure. It's just the city council water. It goes in, and from there we are able now to pump it to the tanks that we need to clarify first, then we put it into the fish tanks. So it's something that I think most people can be able to adapt, because it's something very simple. You just put a tank down there and gravity will just bring the water to you. So whether there is low pressure or high pressure, you'll always have that tank with water. Yes.
Okay. You've done this for 7 years now. Maybe you can just highlight some of the challenges that you've gone through in terms of agriculture.
Yes, agriculture has quite a number of challenges, and one of them being that our greenhouse, we have constructed it in public land. So again, there's the issue of security. Yes.
So people come.
Yeah, we are limited. Even we can't do things that have a lot of fruits, because again, if someone can be able to see some red there and some green there and some orange there, they usually, at the end of the day, you find someone coming and stealing. Yeah.
Wow. And let me just take you back to pumpkins. What is the process of growing? Is it an easy process to grow pumpkins? Is it a good vegetable
venture
to grow?
Yeah.
And for also commercial purposes. Yes.
Well, pumpkins are the easiest things to grow on this earth, actually. And you don't have to go anywhere and buy seeds for pumpkins. You just buy one pumpkin. It has numerous seeds inside. You just dry those ones and then sprout them, and you're ready to go. And even one seed can take you, it can actually just fill your whole greenhouse. If you have enough water and you're watering well, you should be able to get a surmountable amount of leaves and also the pumpkins. Because again, with pumpkins, you're able to harvest from the leaves, their food, and also the fruit itself is food. So actually, that is something that is very free of management. You don't have to be there, like weeding and all that. They take care of themselves. Because it's a cover crop, it comes and covers everything else. If there are any other weeds out there, they're going to die on their own.
And do they require a lot of water as well?
No, they don't require a lot of water.
You said people come and buy.
Yes.
Some people who you're training.
Yes.
So you do train people how to do this kind of farming?
Yes, one of the income generating activities that we do here is that we train other people who want to learn about urban farming and people who want to, go and establish their own farms. We have a number of things that we train on. We have the aquaponics system, which is the fish system, fish and plant system. Basically, they live symbiotically. Then we have the chicken, and we have rabbit training also, and we have greenhouse production. Yes, but besides that, we also train on these other things. I set up gardens, backyard gardens, raised bed gardens, vertical gardens. I also offer farm management, vermicomposting, and aquaponic systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do kitchen gardens.
Yes.
That means I can have a small garden anywhere in my backyard.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have it in your backyard, in your balcony, whatever space is available to you. Rooftop gardens, we do all those for clients, yes.
Okay. But if you do it for me, am I likely to gain in terms of profits from it?
Yes, and it can also be subsistent. It's basically up to you to decide. If you want us to come set up something that's going to be commercial, you can do that, and you can get quite a bountiful harvest. And if you just want something small for your kitchen, we also do that for you, so you don't have to hustle and go find materials. We do all that for you, and we set it up. Yeah.
Wow. Vertical system for keeping chickens. How does it work, and what is the advantage of doing this?
Okay, so what we did, because we didn't have so much space going that way, as you've seen, we're in an estate, and you are confined by the perimeter wall of our small plots. So we wanted to do commercial farming, and the only way we'd be able to do that is if we really stacked them up. So we created a system where we are able to stack up different coops, chicken coops, so that they can accommodate more. That's where the vertical system came in play. Yes. So we came and advanced our vertical system to the normal cages, and ours are now self-cleaning, as you can see. The chicken do not step on their own droppings. They're suspended somewhere, and that reduces the amount of diseases or vulnerability to diseases that could be there.
Okay. So does it work for broilers, layers, all sorts of chicken? Or
it could work for broilers and layers. All you'd have to do is maybe add on the laying boxes, and for the broilers you'd make more of an open system. You wouldn't put in the dividers. Yeah.
For now, what are you doing? Which ones are you doing?
Right now we are doing special kienyeji. What we did is we took a genetically modified breed and we crossed with the local kienyeji. What we wanted is the size in terms of flesh, and also we wanted a disease-resistant chicken, so we were able to merge the two and we were able to get what it is that we wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean these ones are not prone to many diseases like the other ones?
Yeah, these are very hardy. We haven't had any disease so far. We've done this for 7 years. Yes.
And what is it that you feed them?
We are not limited to just one feed. We usually even take kitchen scraps. Then we also have the layer feeds, the manufactured ones that we also give them. Yes, and greens, a little bit of greens from the greenhouse, as you've seen. So when we get weeds and all that, this is where we usually take them.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of profits, where do you sell, and how is the market like now that you're growing stuff you're doing urban farming?
Yes. Okay, so what we did is we tried as much as possible to put in a number of things, yeah? So we did the chicken, we diversified and did the greenhouse, and we had rabbits. So we earn from all of them. Of course, the egg laying, selling the chicken themselves for meat and for breeding, and also we incubate eggs. We also sell chicks, yes. We also do trainings. These are just some of the things that we do for us to get the income generation. So we haven't depended on just one thing when it comes to poultry, not just egg production or or just meat production. So we are able to get income from all those avenues. And from that, I can say we've been profitable because we've been able to bring from a number of avenues. So whatever time it would have taken us for us to recoup our investment, we've already done that, and in a shorter period. Yes.
But when you sell, do you sell locally or you just go out there? Do you sell like in bulk or do you sell to your neighbors, the estate people?
Yeah, it would depend on the orders. Some people come and they want a lot of chicks, so we collect our eggs and we sell in bulk for incubation, or we incubate for them and you sell as a batch. For chicks, it's quite tricky. You can't be able to sell like 1, 2. You'd just sell as a batch. For chicken, I wouldn't say we sell in large numbers. We want to retain more chicken, of course, so that you can have egg production and all that. So when it comes to selling chicken, we've just been selling to our neighbors, 1 chicken, 2 chicken, like that, just for consumption or for breeding. Yes.
Would you say urban farming is possible for anyone who lives in the city?
Yes, and this is something that I really encourage people to do. Urban farming is the solution to, of course, farming in the city, right? You do not have the space to like go expansively, but if you can be able to like design your farm very well, you do a vertical farm, you can be able to even do commercial farming. So this is something that I encourage people to do. When I'm training people, I tell them it's possible. As you can see, I've done it. It's profitable. It has employed me, and I also have my parents who really support me in this project. So yes, I do. I encourage people to do urban farming, and it is profitable. Yes.
Is it the only job? This is your full-time job?
No, I wouldn't say it's my full-time job. Again, when I encourage people to do this is something that you can do part-time. If you want to do it full-time, yes, it's possible. But like for me, it's not time-consuming. The systems that we have here, as you can see, we are feeding the chicken from outside. Also, the watering trough is accessed from outside, and the laying boxes. So again, in the morning, if I need to go anywhere, say I need to be somewhere by 8 o'clock, I'll just wake up 30 minutes early, come feed my chicken, and you can see I'm feeding them from outside. I give them the water, and I also I pick the eggs. So it's something that is very doable. You don't have to do it the whole day. It only consumes like 30 minutes of your time or just an hour of your time, and you go to other business.
Okay.
Yes. So in our urban farm, one of the other things that we have is an aquaponics system where we have catfish. It's a recirculation system, so I guess you'll see when you go there.
Okay. How does it work exactly?
An aquaponic system is a system that supports fish, so aquatic life, as well as plants. So it's a recirculation system where you have the tanks, water coming from the tanks going to a drum called a clarifier. So at the clarifier we pump the water. It leaves the sealed down, and then we pump the water from there going to the grow beds where you have the plants. Then it comes back through a biofilter. It comes back to the fish tanks, being much more cleaner. What happens is the solids and the dirt coming from the fish tanks are the feeds to the plants. They offer nutrients to the plants. And then the water comes back when it's much cleaner. And we have an aerator inside. And we also have a very small pump that does the work. So it's very efficient in terms of electricity usage and power usage. It doesn't use a lot. It's only 18 watts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it something that comes as a whole package, or if I want you to set up for me an aquaponic system, how do you set it up for me?
Okay, so there are 2 ways. You can either buy the materials and I can come and just set it up for you, or I can offer you a package of everything where I bring everything, including the greenhouse paper, the shed, and the seedlings, everything that's included, even the grow bed, the gravel, the fish themselves. Yeah.
How much will it cost me for all that?
If you want a system like this one with 2 tanks, it will cost you 80,000. Yeah, for us to set up everything and to leave it working.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many fish are supposed to be in one cube?
One tank.
Yeah.
So it will depend on the amount of water, but it can range from 150 all the way to 300
Fish.
per tank. Yes. For us, we started with 500 in each tank. We incurred a number of challenges, but the recommended number is actually 300.
Okay.
Yes,
And
maximum.
how big is this? What are the specifications?
It's 1 cubic meter.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so it holds 1,000 liters of water. Yes.
How do you sell? How do you make profit from this?
Well, we sell to neighbors and friends. We also sell to people who have restaurants. If you want to sell in your restaurant, we can also sell to you. But mostly it's also people who come in for training. We get orders. We also post it on the newspapers and social media. We get clients from there.
What do I need to feed the fish, and is it expensive?
The starter feeds are expensive.
Yeah.
But starting from the grower is also expensive. If you decide to go, there are concentrates that have been made already, so you can either buy those ones and come feed, or you can make your own. For us, from growers onwards all the way to finishers, we basically make it for ourselves, and we pelletize also.
Or the food?
Yes, the feed.
Okay. And does it take a lot of space for me to have this? And how many probably can, if I'm to keep this catfish, it's catfish, right?
Yes.
First of all, is there an advantage of keeping catfish or tilapia, or which one is better for the market?
Okay, so for us, we kept catfish because catfish is a very hardy fish. It's very delicate when it starts off, like when it's a very small fingerling. From there up to when it gets to around 3 months, it's very delicate. But beyond that, it can survive anything. Now, tilapia is the other way around. It's very hard for you to actually kill tilapia. You know, they can survive in funny situations, basically. But beyond 3 months, it's also very easy for tilapia to die. So basically, for us, we wanted to venture into catfish because catfish are hardy. Sometimes even when you don't have feed, it can go for 1-2 days without eating and it's just still alive. Tilapia on the other side is very delicate when it comes to feeding.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the challenges that fish farmers go through is getting market to sell. What could you advise them?
Okay, if you're feeding your fish on concentrates,
Yeah.
only from 0 up to 6 months or 8 months, basically your fish are going to have consumed quite an amount of money.
Yeah.
So taking them to the market, like mainstream market, you might find that you won't be able to recoup back your investment. But for us, what we've been able to now learn, because we also incurred the same challenge, is that we are able to now competitively sell our fish by formulating our own feeds. Yeah, because it's way cheaper. Then you can be able to sell in the market just like everyone else. Yeah, but remember, because yours has consumed electricity, there are a number of things that have gone into your aquaponic system, and also the investment itself. You might find that fish from the aquaponic system will be slightly more expensive than the fish out there, because the others, all they've incurred is transportation costs. But for you, you've fed the fish, you've provided energy for them and all that, yes.
Okay. Final word for people in the city who always long to have something they're growing around. What could you possibly advise them? Is it possible?
Yes, it's very possible for you to do such a system. As you can see, for us, we have a very small space. Right in our front yard is where we've been able to place these 2 tanks and the aquaponic system going on and on. And it's very manageable. Again, I encourage people to do urban farming because it's not time consuming. Yeah. It's very doable. It's something that, like for now, you had seen them being fed. Yeah. It's just you calculate the amount of food that you need and you feed them on it, and that's it. You go to other shugulis, you just you can leave the farm and go to other business.
Well, if you are sitting there thinking urban farming is not possible, think again. Sarah has managed to construct a simple makeshift of a greenhouse, a vertical chicken system and an aquaponics system in a 22 by 75 feet plot here in Nairobi's Donholm Estate. Well, I hope you have learned a lot. This has been Hela Mchangani. I have been your host, Mbogwa. Let's do this again next time, same time, in a different location.